Ladies and gents, I've been waiting all season for this one. Since Forest smashed West Ham at the start of the season, I've been dying to get him on, and he is here. Ladies and gents, let's bring Lawless on.
Boom. Here we
Boom, there
go.
we go, it
Listen.
works. Oh my, I miss you, bud. Come back and mod for me. Lawless, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Listen, I don't know about smashed. I mean, your crossbar, your post smashed us in
Are
that
you
game.
joking me?
Yeah, I remember it very well. I
Are
mean,
you
it
joking
was,
me? If
yeah,
Pudding
we,
Rice could score a penalty, maybe you could sing a
oh, don't
different
tell me
tune.
about the penalty, the fucking penalty. That was ridiculous, that game, honestly. But yeah, we like the crossbar, the post, everything. Honestly, it was an awful,
You
cursed
also
game.
tried to cheat your way to a goal, if I remember rightly, when Antonio fouled. I can't remember who it was. It was Mangala, and then you scored, and then VAR correctly ruled it off, mate.
Respect your club legend, mate. Respect your club legend in
Yeah, well,
Antonio.
you should put some respect on him, but he has been quite shit for you so far, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah, he has. It hasn't been his year, to be honest. It hasn't been his season. But we've all been shit, so I can't even criticize Antonio because extenuating circumstances. Moyes tax. We call it Moyes tax. Yeah, this is Moyes tax. Everyone gets off on Moyes tax.
Wait, let's start with this first question, right? Because I'm gagging to know the answer to this, right? Why are West Ham so shit?
Well, I just said Moyes tax.
You're
That's
just
what it.
putting it solely on Moyes. You're not
Yeah,
blaming
no,
the players.
because at the end of the day, this is the thing. Moyes played a certain way. He played this counter-attacking football, but he's heavily reliant on set pieces. I've
Yeah.
said this, it's not sustainable. I think a lot of teams are scoring less set pieces now than before. I mean, we was the highest set piece scorers, in the league, and now we've scored one set piece all season. So we're struggling to score goals. He's trying to change the way he plays. He's signing players he hasn't got a clue of the player profile, comparing Paqueta to Payet, who couldn't be two more different players.
Mate, that absolutely cracked me up, man. Paqueta is one of the best players. As much as I like to take the piss out of West Ham, right? He is one of the best players in Europe, midfield-wise. But as a box-to-box 8, man, wasn't he trying to play him as a 10 at some point?
Trying to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He brought him in and was like, yeah, hopefully he'll be like Payet. He can get us 10 assists and 10 goals a season. He wasn't doing that at Lille, and that's what the thing. Moyes started playing him as a 10, and then he's only recently figured out, oh, let me play him as an 8. So this tells you about the problems with. We've signed these players, and again, Scamacca, another one, and he doesn't seem to understand how to get the best out of them. And then players from last season aren't playing so well. And like I said, the goal is we're not really leaking goals. We're just not scoring because our set pieces have gone to shit. And this is the problem. It's not sustainable as a manager to have a manager who only knows how to score set pieces and counter attack. So, yeah, that's pretty much sums it up, to be honest.
But he's not even set on a formation. I remember when you played us and lost to us, may I remind you, that you were playing like a 4-2-3-1, I think it was, or like a 4 with a couple of wide players with Bowen and I can't remember who was out wide on the left. But it was kind of a 4-2-3-1 when you came to us. But he's been playing a back three quite a lot recently, hasn't he? Like a 3-4-3. How's that been? Because I hate back threes, mate. How's it been for West Ham?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. I mean, he played a bit of that in pre-season, and then he went to the forward, and he tried it a bit later on, but then stuck with the back four, and then recently went to the back three. And in certain games, I mean, it's sort of worked, and I think that those games, when you're playing against teams at the top of the table, that's where it can work the best for you. We got a point against Newcastle, we got a point against Chelsea, crap Chelsea.
I mean, I wouldn't brag about that, mate.
No, I know,
shit.
yeah, it's a crap Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, you're not far off him, are you? Really?
We're 6 points behind them, mate. We'll be past them once we beat you and Everton. Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. But yeah, you won't get any argument from me about how crap Chelsea are. But they've got players there that can hurt you. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the formation, but I don't mind it as a Plan B formation. But he's using it as his Plan A, and we saw it against Spurs. It was painful. It weren't just like, I mean, it weren't even a 5. It was 5 with 3 defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
And Antonio and Bowen. So it was like 8 defensive players. And it was so painful to watch.
It was such a boring match. It really was, mate. I mean, Spurs are boring at the best of times, but like you said, when you put 3 CDMs out there, it, it was just, I mean, you started all right in that game, I thought, you know? And then I don't know what you did in the second half. You were like, oh, screw this. Let's just bend over and let Spurs beat us. But it was like there was no fight from your team, mate. Have they lost the respect, and has he lost the dressing room a bit, do you think?
I think so, because Rice came out and
Yeah.
criticised the tactics, and you don't hear that. And that's when you're starting to get these, when you see these little cryptic posts from players, online and stuff that you think, oh, maybe that's directed at the manager. Like,
Yeah.
more of that is happening. And they can't be enjoying playing like this. And when they're looking at it, look, the fans can see the tactics are all wrong. And
Yeah.
so the players can definitely see it. And I think they've lost belief and lost faith in him. So that's also a big problem.
Yeah, well, I want to get back to Moyes in a minute, but I got to ask you this question now, mate, right? Because when we played you the first time, I had so many West Ham fans trying to give me shit about everything, right? And then we slapped you around, and then they all went silent. They disappeared off my timeline, right? But this was the debate I was having with a lot of them. And I'm sure you're ready to agree with me, yeah? That Forest are a bigger club than West Ham. You'll admit to that, won't you?
No, do you know why? Because look, you can't just sit there and go point to the 70s, point to these. We had won a couple
Well,
of
what are you
European
going to
trophies.
point to?
No, because I don't point to any. I don't point to
Because you
the
can't
past.
point at anything. What have you got to
Because-
point at? An Intertoto Cup, wasn't it?
Well, if we're going back in the past, FA Cups, European Cup Winners'
We
Cup.
got those.
Got European Cup Winners' Cup?
Mate, that's the Mickey Mouse version of the
No,
European
it's
Cup.
the
mate. Who
European
cares about
trophy.
that?
It's the European trophy. But at the end of the day,
okay.
and I bet you more people can name more West Ham players from days past than Forest players.
Are you joking me?
How many did you have in the World Cup? 66.
Well, you want to go back to 66, mate? Seriously, are you that desperate?
You're going back to the 70s. That's one decade different.
I didn't pick. All I asked, my question was, are you prepared to agree Forest are a bigger club? I didn't go back to decades. You dragged us back there.
No, do you know why? Because I'm making a point. If you would have said this, if you would have asked me this 30 odd years ago or whatever,
Yeah.
I would have said yes. However, spending that long in the Championship, that long outside the Premier League, you can't, like, no team, like, your place as the club size is never set in stone, right? It's not set in stone. You probably could have pointed to Huddersfield, right, and said they were a much bigger club than most teams back in the 40s or 30s when they were winning league titles. Your league.
Mate, they don't like us. They don't like us after the fucking final.
Well, there you go. There you go. So they've won league titles. So you.
Wait, if you won league titles.
Well, it depends which league we're talking about. Do you know?
All right, so you're basically saying not only are Forest are bigger, but you're not saying Huddersfield are bigger than West Ham.
No, I'm saying you could say Huddersfield are bigger than Newcastle. You could say they're bigger than Villa. All of this. I'm saying if you believe that your club size is set in stone, you spend 25 years in the second tier of English football, right? In obscurity.
Yeah.
You can't say that. There's people that have been born and are now grown adults in the time that Forest have been outside the Premier League. And all they know is, I know West Ham. I don't know. I can't name any Forest players. What Forest done in that time? So a generation. You was outside for a generation.
Because you could make that argument, yeah, if you were going to turn to me and say for the last 23 years, West Ham have done X, Y, and Z and won A, B, and C. But you might as well have been in the Championship with us because you done fuck all.
No, but the problem is, the thing is, we've been more relevant. We've been more present, right?
How have you been more relevant?
Because being in the Premier League, of course you're more relevant.
You're like the Southampton of London, mate. Just pointless. You're just sitting there in the Premier League doing nothing.
That's Palace. Palace of the Southampton of London. Like, at the end of the day, we've got a big fan base.
Yeah.
And we've been playing Premier League football consistently we got relegated. Okay, we've been relegated twice in that time, but bounced straight back up, obviously unlike Forest. So look, like I said, a whole generation, this Generation Z that everyone talks about, their whole life, all they've known is, they haven't known Forest. Forest have been out of their periphery. You know, so you
Yeah, but
can't.
no one West. The only time people who are neutral would watch West Ham is if it was on Sky Sports and they were playing a Man City or an Arsenal, mate. It's not like anyone's ever looked out for a West Ham match on a
Who's looked
Sunday
out for a
afternoon.
Forest match? Who?
I'm look. My point is
You
simple.
don't
We
even
are.
play the Man Cities or all of that. You know, unless it's a
We did,
cup
mate.
game.
We did. Do you know what the score was? Best goal of the season as well on that one, mate.
Listen, I'm talking about back in the days. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, when's the last time you lot won a trophy? And I'm not, this ain't me going, we won trophies. I'm just saying,
Mate, are
if
you
we're adding
serious?
this
You
up,
can't use that argument
no,
because
I'm
you
not
haven't won
using it.
anything.
No, I'm not saying that because you haven't. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to go back, right? If we're going back to the 70s, right? It's probably
All right, if you don't want to go fight, if you want to bring me down to your level, yeah, I can say we won a trophy last season because you've won that trophy.
No, well, you could say that, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
that's me coming down to your level. Now I'm
no,
not going
but
to talk about the
I'm not
European Cups.
comparing trophies. What I'm saying is, like, it's so in when I just want to know the date, of the year. So in the year, when's roughly year?
2022.
No, right. You won a top tier. Say one of the big trophies. You know,
At the FA Cup,
FA
the
Cup,
League
yeah.
Cup.
Okay,
Yeah.
FA Cup, League Cup. When was that? When we talking?
Chat. What was the date of our last one? 91, wasn't it? 91.
Okay, say it was 91, right? That's 32 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So 32 years time.
Where you going with this? You're going in circles.
Where I'm going. So okay, you won your cup. Then what? About 6-7 years later, you got relegated.
Yeah.
And then in that time, you've been in obscurity.
Well, that's bollocks because we came back up and we finished third. What is the highest you finished in the Premier League?
Third. Oh, in the Premier League. In the Premier League.
Premier League, mate.
Fifth.
So you can't even outdo us then. We had 2 attempts at it, or 3 attempts, sorry, in the Premier League, and we finished higher than you. You've been in the Premier League for the last 23 years. Obviously, you've had a couple of relegations, and you still can't do what you did. I remember when Slavan Bilic was there, and you were all lauding it because you finished like, 5th or whatever it was, mate. That's nothing. That's nothing.
I bet you, if we asked, say, a Liverpool fan, name more. What can you name more? West Ham players or Forest players?
How does that make you a bigger club?
Chelsea. Because obviously people know West Ham more.
So you're judging the size of a club by some random scouser who can name more players?
Well, because it's a Scouser, a Mank, a Brummy from Villa, anyone, right? Anyone. I'm saying we are bigger in terms of just awareness, just of people, knowledge of our
You're
club.
delusional, mate. Why are you called Lawless? You should be called Clueless, mate. How can you say that?
No, because I'm just saying, it depends what you base a big club on. And
let's go on trophies. Trophies, mate. Yeah, trophies are what we want as football fans, yes or no? Or is your criteria that you want some scouser to know the name of a couple of your players? Which would you rather?
Again, we go back to Huddersfield. What I'm saying is club size is not set in stone. If you don't do anything and you're spending a lot of time in the Championship, Leeds were a former big club, right?
Yeah, they're bigger than West Ham. I'd agree there as well. Yeah.
They're a former big club. Who's bigger, Forest or Leeds?
Forest.
Oh, well, you would say that. Right, but at the end of the day, it's immaterial. Spent a long time in irrelevancy. Okay, so it's immaterial, and we've got people under best. We've got a big fan base. We've got a very big fan base.
Mate, you've got a plastic fan base. What are you talking about?
What?
The true fans there support Millwall.
What? How is our fan base plastic? You just said we don't
yours
win
are just all Olympic wannabes. You're in a goddamn council house rented stadium, yeah, and people just come there as tourism, thinking the goddamn Olympics are still on.
You say that, but we sold out our ground in the Championship. Like at the end of the day,
I wouldn't have called that a ground, mate. That was a goddamn chicken coop, mate.
Listen, that ground, yeah. Listen, your Poxy ground, City ground. Kind of name is that for a fucking stadium? City ground.
Well, at least we, own a city. We're in charge of Nottingham. I mean, where would West Ham even rank in the city you're in, mate? If you're in the
another
top
point. This is you're making my point. You are a one club, right? City.
No, we're not.
Well, you got Notts County or whatever.
Literally across the water from us, mate. So try the next one on.
Oh, the other one, yeah. You got You got Notts Forest and Notts County. That's it.
Oh, you're gonna call us Notts
The
Forest
two
now,
Notts.
mate? You,
The two Notts.
whoa, chat. Is he going there
Oh,
already?
oh.
Is he going there,
Right.
chat? Seriously.
The two Notts, yeah, right. But what I'm saying is, look how much clubs we have to contend with in our own city, and we've still got a massive fan base, right? It's a ridiculous number of clubs in London, and I haven't got enough time to name them all, but there's shit tons. You've played a few in the Championship, now you're playing some in the Premier League. You go all the way down football tier, and we've still got a big fan base. We're competing with that.
But again,
So,
that's semantics. You're not the biggest club in the city you're in, mate. That's a little embarrassing.
not really, because you look at how many clubs are in the city, and that's what it comes down to. London is the capital. London is the centre.
Okay. I'd go as far to say as you're the smallest London club in the Premier League right now.
Based on what?
Based on position.
Position. No, we're the lowest in the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
If league position is the smallest, then make sure the
I'll
smallest.
give you, you're probably bigger than Palace and maybe Brentford. Yeah.
Well, I'm Fulham.
Fulham, probably, you're close. You're close of them. They're in a more affluent area of London, not the shithole that's East London.
Oh yeah, so being some rich toffs, yeah. But it's the same way Nottingham is like the posh part of the Midlands.
That's true.
It is. You're the posh boys of the Midlands. And that's what.
Oh god, the chat are loving this. Adam said even Millwall have got more fans. It's true, Millwall have got more passionate fans than West Ham, definitely.
Oh, if you call passionate going around and stabbing people and glassing people, yeah, I'll agree.
Mate, I remember back in the day when they got banned from the City ground, mate. It was one of the weirdest games I've ever been to. Because when they scored, I think it was a late equaliser against us. They had no fans in there. And you could hear the players celebrate. I can't stand. I used to live in New Cross back in the day, mate. So
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, Plastic Forest fan. Hey, look at that. He's not even from Nottingham.
It's true, mate. It's true. It's true, but Nottingham are worldwide, mate. People outside of London have heard about us. Not like you lot.
I've never met a Forest fan in real life. Like going on holiday, I've bumped into West Ham fans, Spurs fans, Liverpool. And
that's because you think going on holiday is crossing the Thames. There's a world outside of London, mate.
I've been Cyprus. I've been Tokyo. Yeah, I met a West Ham fan in Tokyo.
Or was he like your brother or something?
Oh yeah, my brother. Yeah, I'm half Japanese, right? If you couldn't tell. But that's it. Like for us worldwide, and I'm not saying that you haven't got fans abroad. I'm just saying like your awareness when you bump into football fans, you go, "What team just bought? What team just bought?" Do you know what I mean? Like we have a big fan base, despite our city being so saturated with football teams.
So you are agreeing, basically, Forest are bigger, yeah?
No, it used to be. Like at the most, I'll concede that maybe it's equal now.
Maybe it's equal. I'll take that as a concession. I'll take that as a concession.
You have shrunk. Admit you've shrunk. Admit you're not as big as you used to be. You can admit that, can't you?
We haven't won as much as we used to, but Forest fans are still Forest fans.
But you're not as a big club as you used to be.
Oh, we're on the way back up, and you're on the way down, mate. So there's a passing.
Well, listen, you sign another 40 players, you might just get there, mate. Honestly.
Just very quickly, guys. So before we carry on with this, I hope you're enjoying it. There's like over 150 of you already in here and 36 likes. Can you please hit the like button before you forget? Please go and follow. Lawless, you're obviously doing your stuff, which I want to talk about in a bit with the Guinness World Record burger stuff, which absolutely cracked me up, mate.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that.
You did. But is it mainly on West Ham Fan TV where you're residing at the moment?
Yeah, West Ham Fan TV. So that's my channel with the other guys. I'm on a couple of other channels, Matisse's channel, MAH, London Club's Carnage every week. It's always Carnage.
I'll watch it.
Potts channel, yeah. So, yeah, there's the sort of channels I float between.
Kind of whoring yourself out a little, man, aren't
well,
you?
yeah, I'm in demand. What can I say? I'm in demand. That's the thing. And that's so, yeah. But West Ham Fan TV, that's mine with the others. And I'm on there all the time. There was a preview for the game. actually, for the
Yeah, I've
Forest game as
watched that. I
well.
want to talk. I want to pull a couple of points out on that. The link for West Ham Fan TV is in the title. All you guys have to do is go and click on that and make sure you subscribe to them so that you guys can take the piss out of them from 5 p.m. on Saturday once we trounce them, mate. I was looking into it, but I just want one final point before we start talking about the game, right? I don't really want to talk about him because I don't really like him. I'll be straight with you, right? But it was funny, yeah? Because Jesse Lingard almost proves the point, doesn't he? That Forest are bigger than West Ham. Even though we'd just come up, even though you offered him more money, he looks at that club. He looked at that dinosaur. That guy, I mean, I've never seen a man who has that many wrinkles on his face. Can you not afford an iron just to straighten him out a little? Because he looks like a rhino's ass, man. He saw Moyes there, and he was like, no, I'd rather go to the bigger club. Now, I'll grant you, I think he's crap. Yeah, he's done nothing. But the principle, I'm talking about the principle. Wasn't that a slap in the face to you guys? That even someone who's past it, like Jesse Lingard, chose Forest over West Ham.
This is the thing, right? This is where I had the problem with your fan base. And like I said to you before, I had hundreds of Forest fans in my mentions, right? All on my case when I talked about this just before we played you, the Lingard thing.
Yeah.
And it's the fact, and I tweeted this out, that you lot are deluding yourselves into, and you're doing this mental gymnastics to believe that we offered more money, but he went to Forest because it's, it's such it's a big club, it's a great opportunity. Keep all the money, West Ham. I want to move to Forest. That's complete nonsense. Everyone knows, right? You offered him a better deal, a better.
How much did you offer him?
I think it was around, if I remember, I have to cast my mind back, around, could be 120 a week or something, and you offered
him 80. So try your next argument.
No, you didn't, because you offered him also a signing bonus. The whole package was bigger. The whole package was bigger. You also offered him a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Right. So then he could potentially get another signing bonus and then sign somewhere else, where we was offering a 3-year deal. Right. He also done this podcast and he talked some shit about he didn't feel like we really wanted him, and Forest, like, as desperate as they was for like to sign every players, made him feel wanted. Like, oh, they really want me. You must have, Pavarotti must have got on his knees and begged him, please join our club, and that's what he did. That's what it comes down to.
You would take the Greek father any day of the week over your shitty owners, mate. Don't even go there on Marinakis, mate.
Listen, not if he's just signing any old shit going. Like, I'm not being funny. Sullivan used to do that. Not as many players, but yeah, we used to have these random signings. Let's just get Chris Wood just because he's got on sale, and there's Lingard. Let's get this player. Let's get fucking.
Yeah, but these are the players you were trying to get. Wait,
what?
Are you trying to deny you were trying to get Lingard?
No, Moyes was. Moyes is
West Ham.
Moyes is not West Ham. Moyes is his own thing, and he does his own thing. And he chased Lingard, forsaking other options. We could have got Danjuma. He's like, I want Lingard. Lingard, and this is the problem we have. He's pissed us about for so long, and this is the problem. This is the thing I had with Lingard, right?
Right.
We wanted him to come in straight away. We were like, listen, we have a pre-season coming up. We want to get you in. We want to get you in plenty of time and get you playing. He wanted to take his time and sign later on, which shows me he wasn't serious at all. He was not serious because he weren't quick to find a club. He wanted to have the summer off and go and do his photo sheets in Milan and all this bollocks, yeah? And that's what it come down to. He didn't like it. And we were like, well, you either sign now, or like, we ain't going to wait till, the fucking end of the window, mate.
So you got demanding in your shitty position. You thought you could call
shitty position? You mean like you finished in Europe and European place?
Do you seriously call that Europe? It's got the word conference next to it, mate.
You would scratch my hand off for it. What are you talking about?
I would not play. There's the Europa's the Mickey Mouse European Cup, mate. I don't even know if Mickey Mouse and Minnie had a baby. That ends up with the goddamn Europa Conference League, mate.
You've never played in Europe in your lifetime.
I couldn't even name. I can't pronounce some of the teams' names that you've played this season.
Listen, we've played, some historic teams. Style Bucharest, Former Champions League winners beat Barcelona in the Champions League final. Eh?
When was that? Before TV was made?
No, it was in the 80s. It was like 89. Which is later than is more recent than you've won your
All right, who else you played? Who else you played?
Listen, we've played some
You can't even remember the names of the team you played in that Conference Cup, can you?
FCSB. No, that was Star Bucharest. We played Denmark. It don't matter. The point is,
you played the national team.
no, some team from Denmark. We played a couple of teams from Denmark. But the point is, you've never seen your team play any kind of European football.
I have actually.
You're telling me you would sit there and cry your eyes out if you finished 7th?
I'd cry my eyes out.
You would sit there, be disappointed if you finished 7th and you've played in the Conference League.
I wouldn't mind, mate, but I wouldn't sit there and look at it as something historic because, you know, when your club has history, you understand the levels. Yeah, I get how the Mickey Mouse Conference, Daffy Duck, whatever this one's called, means a lot to you guys when you've won nothing.
No,
so
it's
I
not.
get that.
But this is it. It's not about history. It's about experiences, yeah? I can say I've been abroad and seen my team play. I can say that, right? I have that opportunity. We have an opportunity to win a trophy, and that's experience of going abroad and having a final and winning a trophy in Europe. You look at Mourinho, yeah, when he won that, when Roma won that. No one can say they didn't love that. They didn't enjoy that. It wasn't a moment. It wasn't an experience for the city. It was a big deal. Like,
mate, Mourinho gets excited when he wins the Charity Shield.
He's a winner.
I mean, come on.
He's a winner. He's
of
a winner.
The Charity Shield, yeah.
Like,
that's
Mourinho is bigger than your club. He's bigger than mine. Probably. Listen, that's not to say he's bigger than mine, but he's a serial winner, mate. He's huge, and you can't knock him. You can't knock him. So at the end of the day, like, you've just got to the Premier League. You can't sit here and act like you're too good for this European competition or that European competition. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not saying that, mate. I'm not saying that.
That's like a homeless man saying he's too good to live in a studio flat. Like, I want the bedroom separate to the living room and the kitchen, and I can't have a shared toilet. You know, you're homeless.
It's called ambition, mate. It's called ambition.
You've got to walk before you can run.
We've already run, mate. We've got 2 stars on our badge. It shows we can run a plenty, mate. You ain't got nothing.
No,
so I get like how this Mickey Mouse Daffy Duck Cup looks good for you. But you're not even going to win it, are you?
Well, it remains to be seen. If Moyes gets the sack, everything's up in the air. We don't play till March. Our draw is tomorrow. Everything's up in the air. So at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see. But that's the thing. If we win it, we play in Europa League next season, right? You're gonna finish. Well, you could get relegated still, because I feel like you're too comfortable and you're out of it. But you could still get relegated if we win.
Get relegated while you're, still in the league, mate?
Listen, if we beat you, we go within 2 points, right? 2 points of you, okay?
Yeah.
We know you travel bad. You don't travel well. So there's every chance. You're not out of the relegation zone. So stop looking at Champions League and thinking, this is it. This is where we're
coming, mate. It's coming.
Worry about staying in the league because it's tight.
Mate, you can't talk to me while I'm looking down at you where are you, 19th, 18th? You're so far down below us, I can't remember what position it is.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
I can't take advice, and I can't take someone seriously who's so far behind us trying to give us advice.
5 points.
5 points, 5 places.
I'm giving you advice because you don't really. This is Premier League. It's unfamiliar territory for you. And as someone who,
it's not. We finished 3rd in it, mate. How many times?
When? What year?
It's 93, 94.
93, 94. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, mate. Collymore. Oh, Collymore.
Collymore.
He's still getting your team now, mate.
Listen.
Probably still getting us, to be honest. I'll take him back.
Listen, honestly, like, that's how long we're talking. So look, take it to someone who's, grew up seeing his team play in the Premier League. Yeah, I've been here.
And win nothing. Fair enough. That was 94, 95, sorry. It was around there.
Yeah, like in the Premier League's infancy, and then you go and get relegated.
It was still in the Premier League, mate. It's still in the Premier League. So. Right, let's move on to the next question, Do you want to take some from the chat? I've got loads of questions coming in from them.
Oh, I bet.
All right, let's see what they've got to say, right? Steven's asking, are you missing Mark Noble?
To a degree, I don't put as much stock in it as other people, but he's a big figure in the dressing room, a leader, and so I do think that that's a miss. Yeah.
So you do miss? Do you think he'd still get into your team now in his Zimmer frame and everything?
Listen, Zimmer frame. You've probably got players that are old enough to be his dad with all the players that you've signed.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one.
I'd have him over Souček.
You know, why has he gone so shit, mate? Because he was really good a couple of years back. I remember FIFA, he was like inform after inform after inform. Yeah. And then what happened to him?
Because his whole game revolved around late runs into the box, and people sussed it. He's good defensively, but if we want someone to progress the ball, he's not it. And that's the problem, you know. So our set pieces are shit, which he thrived off, and we're not really counter-attacking, and teams can see it. They know. We'll watch out for his late runs into the box. Simple as that.
Would you say, if Paqueta was fit, would you drop Souček for Paqueta?
Yeah, and that's kind of where we've been at. You know, he has been dropped for Paqueta.
But he's injured. I'm hearing he's 50-50 for this one. Have you got any more on that on Paqueta? He's the only one that, you know, banter aside, he's the only one that worries me in your team. The rest of them are pretty shit. But Paqueta does worry me, mate.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, how can you say that we've literally got Declan Rice, right, who plays right next to him?
He was so bad at the City ground, mate. I was like, what the hell's the hype? Why are they calling him Rice? This is goddamn rice pudding, mate. He was so bad. Couldn't even put a penalty in. He was crap in midfield. I was like, how's this guy? Is this guy really still worth over 100 mil?
He just had a seriously long campaign. He's played international football. They had that poxy tournament or whatever it is that they have for the internationals. And then played in. I mean, so he started the season a bit slower, but he's still been, you know, one of our better players. But yeah,
I mean, that's not hard, mate, is it? Let's be fair.
He is. Even when we're good, even when he's good, he's our best player. Even when we're good.
Yeah, but have you not fucked up on him? Because shouldn't you have sold him in the summer? Because he's worth nothing now. How long's he got left on his contract?
Well, 2 years effectively. He's got a year, and then we can extend it, basically. So effectively 2 years.
What do you think you'll get for him now? Because they were talking like 100 in the summer. What's he worth now? About 20.
Well, listen, he ain't going to Forest, so you can offer your 20.
We don't want him, mate. We don't want him.
Are you sure? You got enough players, yeah?
Yeah.
Got enough.
We can register any more if we wanted to, mate.
Yeah, you can't squeeze the Rice in there.
Okay, so that's Declan Rice, right? Lights Out has asked, does it hurt that Forest are much more decorated than the mighty Hammers? Oh, I think we've covered that one.
I look forward, not backwards. So, you know.
What are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to being reunited with Millwall? Is that what you're hoping for?
I'm looking forward to getting new ownership at the end of the season. That's what I'm looking forward to.
You think that's going to happen?
Yeah. I think
in the championship.
I think this is championship. Listen, it's in the championship. We get sold for cheaper, and it's more likely. So, either way, you know, we're getting new ownership, and then, you know, we kick on.
Can I ask you about another player? And this is one I do like. Yeah, Benrahma. I think he's been underused by you guys a lot. He kept, you know, when he played us earlier in the season, he scared me. Yeah, he was brilliant out on the left. But he's been a bit in and out of the team. I don't know what you West Ham fans think of him, but I quite highly rate him. He was even linked to us in the summer as well, because there was talks that he was leaving. But because you've got him and you've got Cornet, who's done, I've barely seen him. Has he been out injured and stuff quite a bit?
He's had an ultra rare injury that apparently only one other player's ever had. It's a mysterious rare injury.
Got too close to Moyes, did he?
Typical, yeah, exactly. But the thing is with Benrahma, and that is Moyes is the problem. He's very divisive in the fan base. You people that will ride or die for him, like me, and there's people that they're not having him. And Moyes just seems to be one of these people that's not having him. Will sub him off. Like, if anyone gets subbed off, it's going to be Benrahma. He will get dropped when there's no need to drop him. Like, Bowen's been poor most of the season, never been dropped. Benrahma in and out of the team, despite him being arguably our best player, you know, this season.
I would agree with that. Can I just say, you know, I was telling you about Forest Dan, He's just put a message up on my deathbed, but had to come into the chat and say big up to Lawless. Love your work, man.
Cheers, man. probably the only Forest fan in the chat that's saying that right now, but
I
appreciate
am
that.
telling you, Lawless, he has posters of you up on his wall. I don't know if you're clothed or not, but he absolutely loves you. And
Hey, that's
he,
my secret shoot there.
your OnlyFans page kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's so many of you in the chat. I'm reading through your messages as you go along, but I'm concentrating on what Lawless says because I'm not going to let him get away with anything on this debate, right? But yeah, he's a good player. Do you think he will play on Saturday, Benrahma, or do you
I,
think?
I think he has to. I do think Moyes will be reactive based on how much of a disaster the Spurs game was, and he didn't play. And it'll
Mm.
probably be back in the team. I'll be shocked. I'll be outraged if he's not, because we lacked any creativity. He has to be back in the team on Saturday.
Is he going to switch out from this 3-back, do you think, to a 4-back? Richard saying, we're enjoying Lawless. He's well up for the bands. Lawless is a top bloke. I couldn't do this with many others. That's why we really wanted him on. So thank you, as always, Bud, for jumping on. But yeah, do you think he's going to change from a 3-back to a 4-back for this game? Because I think you guys have to go for it. Because would your fan base get toxic if we scored first or you went into halftime, even at 0-0? Could you see them turning quite heavily?
I don't think we'd turn if it went in 0-0. But I mean, if we played shit at defensive, it could. But yeah, if you scored first, it would turn nasty. It could really turn nasty if you scored first, and that is the thing that can't happen. And this is the thing that I'm thinking, because we need to go for it. We're at home. There's every chance, and how cautious he is, and knowing that we can't lose this game, he's going to go into it. That's his priority. Don't lose. Not win, don't lose. And that's what worries me, in that he's going to stick with that back five.
But is that because he's had this? I don't know how true it is. The papers are saying if he loses, he's gone, but he has to get tonked to be gone. I don't know how true it is. I'm sure there's no smoke without fire. But if you're a manager hearing that, if I was Moyes, I'd be hearing, okay, so if I draw, I'm all right. So I'm gonna low block my way out of this. Is there much in the rumours going around about that tonking gets rid of him?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a very reliable source that said that, in the West Ham community, ex-employee. So I think there is some truth to it. I think, because the fan base haven't massively turned, and people ain't starting to put pressure on the board. That's probably what's stopped them from really pushing the button, and they're probably thinking, if we get a massive defeat, then it's going to turn nasty. And that's probably what they're worried about. But to me, it's just ridiculous, because a 1-0 loss, and we're going to be like, nah, we didn't lose 3-0, so it's all good. Keep going, boys. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they don't surprise me.
What do you reckon the fan base is at the moment with Moyes in, Moyes out? Is it fairly 50-50? Because all the YouTube stuff I've been watching from you guys in particular and a few others, it's pretty unanimous for me. It feels like the mood is Moyes out.
Yeah, there's still a few like Moyes fanboys in the fan base, and you get a real sense of what's in the ground. The online can give you a false perspective on things. So I'm really going to be interested to see how people feel in the ground. I remember when he subbed Benrahma off one day, and everyone booed it, and there was a lot of people slating Moyes. So it's starting to turn. But this game, we lose this game, or you score first, it's going to turn, and that's it. Like, he's hanging on to a thread. So those people that are on the fence, this game is going to decide what side of the fence they come down on.
So does this feel to you like, I remember when you guys played Everton, the El Sacco or whatever it was called, yeah? And in a way, you got screwed even though you won, if you see what I mean. Because Lampard they went and got, Sean Dyche in. He looks like he's turning them round. Do you kind of feel like you were better off losing? I know it sounds weird. I know no one would ever back their club to lose, but you know what I'm saying here, yeah? Would it not have been, if you were going to lose a match, that probably could have been the good match to lose for you guys? How did the West Ham fans feel about that one?
Yeah, I think there's a few that feel like that. Me and Nicky were just talking about it, and it's on my channel. We were just talking about it, and it's feels like that. It does feel like, we won, but we kind of lost. I think Dyche is doing a decent job. I don't know whether I would want Dyche in terms of the player profile that we have. I like him. There's part of me that would want him, but again, there's question marks over can he play a more progressive style of football, and I think that's the players we have would be much more beneficial to that. So I really want to get a short term in if we can. Get this new manager bounce. Get someone to keep us up.
Who?
This is the question now, because we won that game. We've left it so long. The options are limited. Rafa don't want a short term deal. Bielsa don't want a short term deal. So
would you take either of those
on a short term? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to take Bielsa like on a long term. It's risky, but
I like his style though. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be entertaining because this is what I've said to people.
Yeah.
Like, if I can't have it all, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind sitting through shit football if there's success on the pitch, if we're winning games.
Yeah.
But if we're not getting that, you want something else. There's got to be some sort of trade-off, and I want to be entertained when I go and see my team. You know, I want to, and that's the big thing.
I hear you, mate. I'm with you on that one because we're not exactly playing the most exciting football our end. It's very low blocky. Yeah, this game on Saturday could be one of the dullest matches in history. Yeah, if we go there low block, Moyes sets up you lot defensive because he doesn't want to lose. It may be a case when no one's touching the ball because it's just in the middle of the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And both teams are sat behind the ball. So there is a fear of that happening. Does this one stink to you like it could just peter out into a draw? Because a draw almost suits both parties here.
I mean, a draw doesn't suit us at all.
It suits Moyes though, doesn't it?
It suits Moyes, and yeah, it suits Moyes. It doesn't suit West Ham because of the fixtures we've got coming up. This is our most winnable game, right, on paper.
I don't know how you can say that.
It is our most, because you look at so if I look at the fixtures, we've got Brighton away. We have not beat Brighton once since they got promoted.
So
you know, we've got Manchester in the so we always lose them away from home. We're going to lose that game, guaranteed.
All right.
Then we've got Aston Villa at home after that. Who Aston Villa much improved under Emery. He's the manager I would have loved.
Yeah, I like him. I
was really disappointed when they got him. And then we've got Manchester City away at the end of the month.
Don't worry about that one, mate. Just copy Cooper's tactics on that. You'll be fine.
Listen, Moyes will not be doing that. Moyes will shit himself and lose anyway. And then after that, so our next most winnable game is the 2nd of April, which is Southampton at home. So yeah, if we don't get the 3 points now, then we're going to go through a whole month of probably losing and end up at the bottom of the table.
So if you lose on Saturday, you're fucked, basically.
Yeah. Pretty much, unless if we sack him and we bring in a new manager, then you go in and say, okay, maybe we get that new manager bounce on Brighton, right? We get the dark cloud that's lifted over the squad's head. We get someone to unlock the players, let him actually go out and play.
Yeah.
Then you could have a chance of getting that. I mean, Aston Villa at home should be a winnable game. Should be something we look to and win. Not under Moyes, not with the way we're playing. Yeah.
Lawless is more pessimistic than I am, says Phil. Phil's a negative one, as they say. It is nervous. You know what? I'm a little nervous about this one because I'm looking at it the opposite way from you. I'm looking at it thinking, if we can tonk you on Saturday, when I say tonk as a Forest fan, 2-0, by the way, is the tonking because we scored 3 goals away from home all season, right? So if we can tonk you 2-0 or even 1-0 like us, so I'll take anything right now, right? That puts us 8 clear of you. Yeah. Then to me, that puts you in major trouble and there's a decent distance between us. And then we've got Everton next week at home. Yeah, I know they got Sean Dyche, but at the City grounds, it's just another level, as you guys found out earlier in the season, right? As I keep reminding you, mate. But I'm looking at this one. For me, I would say one thing, right? I'd take 4 points from the next 2 games. Or ideally, in a dream world, 2 wins. And we're clear. If we win these next 2 games, you can cross us off even your list of teams that you think you'll be able to overtake, which puts you in even further trouble.
Yeah, that's it. And this is how big the game is. It is huge.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We can't afford to even get a point because of the teams around us and what they do. Because if we get a point and the team below us and above us win, then it points no good. And this is what I've been saying. Our fans have been celebrating points. Point against Newcastle, point against Chelsea. It's like draws. It's like, yeah, it's all well and good, but we need wins. Teams around us are beating the teams near the top of the table, right? You got the draw Man City even. So
We beat Liverpool.
yeah, beat Liverpool. Wolves beat Liverpool.
Yeah, that
Everton
was
beat
what the hell.
Arsenal. You know,
Southampton beat Chelsea. That one pissed me
yeah,
off at the
yeah.
weekend.
The week before, where we celebrated getting a point against
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
it's no good. We can't just keep getting draws. If we keep drawing,
Did you draw home or away to them? Chelsea.
home.
You were at
Yeah,
home. Oh God.
yeah,
Well, we drew
exactly.
as well, so I can't take the piss at you there, mate.
But
But
it's
yeah,
just we can't get a draw against Forest. Go, well, at least we didn't lose.
yeah,
It's stupid. It's just stupid. We need wins.
yeah. All right, mate. Let me ask you about Forest, right? Because obviously you're envious of the club, but which players scare you the most from the Forest team? And don't give me some bullshit saying none of them.
Listen, I don't know which players. I don't know who you've got. Like,
Are you crapping me?
listen, you've signed everyone, and it's just like who's
So
playing?
any
Who's
player
fit?
you name, you're not going to be far off the mark, are you?
Well, I've seen that you've potentially got some serious injuries. Like there's quite a few players that are doubts.
11 out, mate. We got the most injuries in the goddamn league right now, ahead of Chelsea now.
Yeah, like because you had Chiarte apparently is a doubt. Lingard's apparently a doubt.
Yeah, it's mate. Kiara has been out since the World Cup, mate. He's coming back nowhere soon. Yeah, he got injured in the World Cup. Lingard is just like too much TikTok dancing. It's probably straining his ankle and what have you. But mate, come on, you've seen Morgan Gibbs White, haven't you?
No, I tell you, it's not even Gibbs White, yeah, and he is good. It's not even Gibbs White that I worry about the most. You know what I worry about the most? Chris Wood. That guy
He scores against you a lot, doesn't he? But he's shit.
He loves a goal against West. He's almost nailed on to score against us on Saturday.
He's ex-Millwall, isn't he, back in the day?
That's probably what it is. It's probably what it is. It's just one of those players that he'll always pop up with a goal against us. Don't matter how much shit he's playing or when the last time he scored, he will pop up with a goal. So I'm almost guaranteeing that he's going to score, as much as your fans haven't been rating him.
I never thought I'd hear the day where someone comes on and tells me they're scared of Chris Wood.
Yeah. I am. I'm terrified.
That was like set me back, mate. I like literally have no response to that. I don't know what to say.
That's the one.
Mate, you really are in the crapper if you're worried about Chris Wood, mate.
Listen, we could be top of the league and I'll be worried about that geezer. He's just one of those players. It's like Wilson, Callum Wilson. Loves to score against us.
You could have said Morgan Gibbs White. You could have said Brennan Johnson. Yeah, you could have said, I don't know, whoever. And you picked Chris Wood. I am speechless, mate.
Don't be surprised when he scores, and then you'll know why.
Oh, I love it, mate. I'll make sure I'll remind you of it after the match.
Yeah. Oh, listen, you'll be like, oh, shit, he was right. He was right to be worried about Chris Wood.
So what are you thinking? What are you thinking, Lawless, score-wise? Yeah. Let's do this. Let's go scores here, mate.
Look, I have to be consistent with what I said on my preview. I do, as much as part of me feels like we'll pull out the win, you do travel poorly. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's got a draw written all over it.
I know what you're saying.
Not good enough. Like, it just feels that way. I wouldn't be surprised if we win, and I wouldn't be... I'd be relieved, but I wouldn't be celebrating like it's amazing, because look, if we win this game, to me, Moyes still needs to go, because it's the next game and the next game and the next game. We need to start winning games that we're not the favourites in.
Yeah.
So I'm saying 1-1. I think if I really think about it, I just feel like it's going to be unsatisfying, and it's going to be like we'll score.
Would that be enough to get rid? He'll hold on, won't he?
It probably will hold on. It should be enough to get rid. I could just see it. We score first. We're winning most of the game. Chris Wood, late on, pops up with an equaliser, and everyone's fuming. Their boos will ring around. People will be unhappy, but we didn't lose. Mugs.
All right, 1-1. Okay, after all the big man talk, at home, you can't even back your own boys.
Moist tax. I'm telling you.
Mate, I don't know what I think. In my preview, I said we'd win 1-0. But we're so shit on the road, mate. Like, both football-wise and points up. We've had 1 win and like 2 draws, something like that. I can't remember it exactly, right? I just feel if we can frustrate you for 20 minutes, yeah, nick a goal, maybe from a corner, You know, Felipe, the Brazilian legend now that we have from Atletico, because we got half Atletico Madrid's defense now, mate. Maybe he scores from a corner, and we just turn that, you know, that toilet stadium completely toxic, mate.
Listen,
Then we can win that. It's all who scores the first goal, if there is a first goal, for me.
yeah, you have to score first. If you want to win this game, you have to score first because that's the key. That is the key to, you know, really getting the crowd on these players back. There'll be boos, especially if you score in the first half. They'll be going into the thing, boos ringing around.
Mate, what have you done? You've got all the Forest fans in the chat here excited about Woods, that they're actually looking at the odds on him scoring.
Hey, go to the Forest Club shop tomorrow and get Chris Woods on the back of your shirts. Get
39.
Woods, 39, yeah. Get it on there.
They're all going down to the bookies by the looks of it, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know we've gone on longer than we talked about, mate. But yeah, I'm nervous about this one. I want to be confident, but I'm a little scared to be confident because I'll gloat at you, don't worry, afterwards. And just remember, even if you win, you lose, mate. Because you'll be stuck with Moyes. Yeah.
But we'll be one step closer to overtaking Forest.
But you'll still be behind us. That's the beauty of this, mate. We can't lose.
Yeah, but we'll be creeping up. But
but then you just said you're getting no points for the next 200 games, mate. So what will it matter?
Well, maybe that's the turning point. But
right. Moyes suddenly is going to figure out, yeah?
A lot of Forest fans who gave me shit at the start of the season, I bookmarked their tweets. So if we win, you'll be hearing from me, probably.
Don't worry, mate. I'll be ready and waiting, yeah? Because I can't see us losing. Maybe a draw at worst.
Wow, you're that confident, jeez,
mate. It's not about being that confident. I've watched a lot of West Ham this season, and mate, you shit.
Do you know what? If we win, I might have to get my editing skills out. I'm gonna have to do some clipping up.
You clip up what you want, mate. I'll say it right here. I guarantee you, Lawless. I'm looking right in the camera. Yeah, we will not lose on Saturday. There, I'm confident. Can you say the same back? Is the question.
Dun, 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 dun. Get used to hearing that.
What have I set myself up for, mate? You know what? I did that before the Fulham match and it got clipped and sent around Twitter, mate. Yeah. Brilliant. There you go. Guys in the chat, Lawless, go follow him on Twitter. Make sure you're subscribed to West Ham Fan TV as well for the legend that is Lawless. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is proper old school football banter. It's fantastic to have you on, Lawless. Thank you so much, buddy, for being on here. You're an absolute legend, even though you support a shit team. We love having you on here, mate.
Listen, no, it's good to come on and do some charity work for the smaller clubs, you know, in the league. You know,
he's getting the last thing in, mate.
Smaller clubs. Now, listen, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see who finishes higher. At the moment, obviously, you're ahead. But boy, if we finish, not just win this, but if we finish above you, it's gonna be a long.
Mate, as you said at the start, learn to crawl before you can walk. Yeah.
We'll see on Saturday, mate. That's it. All we can do is let the teams do the talking.
Exactly.
Right? That's it.
Exactly. We've done our beef. We've done our banter. Let the boys on the pitch sort it out. Guys in chat, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow with the presser, and then obviously we'll have the watch along on Saturday. Lawless, you've been a legend. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and come on, you Reds.